Yo, what is up? John from Luke Nation here. Second review of all time. Let's get into it. Shit. So today we're going to be reviewing a collaborative album done by duo called. Okay, they're not duo called anything, but by someone an artist called Smook Deville and Victorious Vic. What's interesting about these guys is one of them is based in Chicago, America, and one's based in Melbourne, Australia. So it's pretty cool. I thought that's an interesting collab because geographically we're on literally different ends of the earth. But yeah, they've gone for a mixtape's called Matter of Time. They've gone for like a 90s, or at least the vibe I get is like a 90s R&B kind of vibe, kind of thing like that, but it's still hip hop and very rap, like very rap dominant. If I say that, sorry, my bad. I've had a very long day. Let's get into it. Cool. So lyrically, I think lyrically you're on point. Just to clarify, the duo is that as far as I understand, the Chicago rapper Smook Deville, he's the artist, he's the rapper on the album, and the Melbourne guy is the producer. So basically, one guy does production, one guy does the rapping. So lyrically, Smook, you're on point. I like the lyrics. The themes of motivation, it's pretty consistent throughout the whole album. Your lyrics are real. They're real. You can tell that they're coming straight from your heart. I can hear your hunger and your passion in your delivery. So that's cool. Your flow's decent. Your flows are tight. I like it. I can't really fault them. Although I feel like, in terms of your energy, I'll get into that. First thing I want to say about your lyrics, the only point, your verses are good. Your verses are creative. They have metaphors in them. You've got all that. You've got all the basics right. Where I think you struggle is on your hooks, basically. What I noticed, like, throughout the whole album is, like, you've got the overdub effect, where you have like 2 tracks with your vocals over for the choruses, and that's cool. I mean, I know that's what's done. Where I think it could use work is the offset of timing between the two. I can basically hear that there's 2 tracks happening, and I don't know if this is I suppose this is a bit of a personal opinion. I just feel like the 2 tracks, like when I can hear the lag in between, it doesn't sound well. What I think you're trying to do is increase the presence in the chorus and hook, the chorus of the hook, and I see what you're trying to do there. What I think you should try doing is just like minimize that lag as much as possible, but still have the overdub. So I read somewhere once what Eminem does or did. He records for his for the overdubs, for the ad-libs and stuff. He records one track which is him just reading out the lyrics kind of in a monotonous tone, and the next one is where he puts in all the energy. And when you like layer these 2 over together, apparently it comes out well. I've been trying to listen out for it, and I can kind of see where they're coming from, because it creates a more intricate picture, a sonic intricate picture, if you feel what I'm saying. So give that a shot, see how you go with that. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of your hooks. Your hooks, like, they could use a lot of work, but in saying that, I can't fault that. Hooks are the hardest part of making, generally the hardest part of making a song, and if I knew how to do great hooks, man, I wouldn't be here. So, but keep working at it. I also noticed, you use I don't know if it's your voice or use a touch of autotune, or if not that, your EQ kind of made things hard to hear for me. Or this could also be something that's just wrong with me. I hear a lot of your high frequencies in the voices and that, doesn't sit very well with my ear at least. So maybe when you do your EQ, drop down your high frequencies and stuff like that a bit more than you usually do. But again, I feel like this is something I'm personally just sensitive to. And the auto tune, it wasn't used too much. I appreciate the amount you've used it, the style that you've used it in. But it was still a bit obvious they used it. I think a great way to use auto tune is to almost not to have the listener fooled, let them think you're singing, but I can hear the auto tune. If not auto tune, it's a different effect. I'm not the greatest producer, so there might be other things that I'm not aware of. I like the interludes that you've got, like at the end of the second track. I can't remember what it's called. And the little skits in between here and there. I think in Stay Home, if I'm not mistaken. That was a nice interlude between songs, and it breaks up the album pretty well. Other than that, work on your hooks, man. Maybe I'll try and work with other artists, get them to do a hook. Maybe like use a girl voice for the singing. I'm not saying your singing is crap. I'm just saying and I know you did have a girl voice for the hook in one of the songs. I just can't remember which one. I just feel like there's too much of your voice throughout the whole album, and that's not a bad thing. But sonically, which I'll get into in the next bit, it makes for a very. It doesn't make for a very variant picture, if you know what I'm trying. If you know what I'm trying to say, just too much of your one voice kind of makes it a bit boring for the listener, sonically at least. Which brings me to the next bit of the section, your sonics. I like the beats. I loved the beats. Where if that was your partner that produced it, yeah, that's cool. I loved it. It was nice, jazzy, loungy beats, and they were just nice, soothing to the ear. What I think, and they were very, very well produced. If they're all produced, self-produced, that's cool. I respect that. What I think is the issue here is you've like how do I put it? Your energy in your delivery in your verses, they don't match the beats. I feel like they're way too chilled, and the energy that you put into the verses don't match. And like that's cool. Like I hear your energy. I hear your passion and your hunger in your verses. I hear that, and I like that. I love it. But I feel like that could keep you from achieving your artistic potential, in the sense that you're going really hard on these beats, and like on your rhymes and your verses, you put all this energy in the delivery, but like the beats call for a much more chilled out kind of tone. And I think don't be scared to experiment. Don't be scared to be more. You don't have to go as hard as you do. You can experiment with your chilled out voice. I don't know if you're into it, but like smoke a blunt and then do it, and just be in a mellow kind of mood. With these beats, at least I feel they call for much more mellowed out delivery. But I liked it. I think if you want a point of reference in the song Keep Your Head Up, you did it well there. You had like your voice was a lot more toned out, and just more chilled out and matched the beats, and it was like a very nice synthesis of a sound, if you will. On top of that, your delivery is consistent, but not necessarily in the best, in a good way. Consistent in the sense that I feel like I could go to any track at any point in the album, and it sounds like you picked off where you left in the first track. It doesn't sound like you've gone through many changes in your tone and your delivery throughout the whole album. And to a first time listener who also doesn't pay this much attention to music, is gonna sound like you sound exactly the same in terms of your delivery, because you've got this one tone, this one energy that you're delivering, which is easier said than done to vary, but I think that's definitely something you need to work on. just that. In terms of the concept of the song, I like them. As I said before, they're motivational, they're real, they're exactly what I'd expect an artist, um, an underground artist at your level to be experiencing, feeling the thirst, the pressures of the real world, you know, just life getting in the way of you achieving your dreams and stuff like that. They're very real. Your emotional chorus for each song was just on point. Like, I like that. You could tell it's coming straight from the heart, and I mean that's the direction you do want to be going, making stuff that you feel like. If you feel it, it's going to be a good song, and it shows in the album. So definitely, that's good. On top, in addition to that, on the other hand, actually, I feel like the motivational, you know, I gotta get there, kind of theme is cool and is real, but I feel like you don't need to be all about that. Like, I know you're trying to make it, you know you're trying to make it, you should probably like try and experiment. Like, I think you're at a level where you can be past that now, where it's still there, you can still mention it now and then, maybe not with the same frequency as you did in this album. I would say take the attitude that you've made it, and now you've got a fan base. You know, you're starting to feel like you make it now. Now, what do you make a song about? I think maybe get a bit more descriptive in your songs. Maybe involve a bit more storytelling. What you've already done is great. You know, that's all good. If you're into storytelling, that is, I feel like this might just be something I'm into. I love storytelling at first. Just come up with a bit more creative ways of saying things, which you're not lacking on the album. I think that just you could use a different approach, and I would say, yeah, just paint scenes a bit more, be a bit more descriptive, in more of a third person point of view. I feel like a lot of things in the album are like more first person, and like, that's cool. I can see your point of view, but now flip it. Like, do the same thing, but from another person's point of view. You can just create something, a whole new different thing, but still have the same message to it, you know. So that way you're not compromising on your integrity, on the realism, if you will, on your lyrics, but you just find a different way to do it. So give that a shot. That's cool. In terms of that's really all I have to say about the album. In terms of advice, I would say try. I understand that you've got this deal with. I'm not sure. You mentioned it was your brother in Melbourne, and I know you guys wanna do this collab together. That is fine. I think, in addition, you should still try work with another producer. See how another producer would create a beat and put you in that beat. Just see how different it would turn out, because on this album I can hear the beats all sound very like similar, and it just sounds like the same person made it, that's not a bad thing at all. But in terms of sonic variation, you might want to change it up. Just try a few more producers. You never know. I understand it can get expensive in doing that, but work something out. You might find another producer would sonically give you a different spin-off as this guy in Melbourne would. Not that he's a bad producer at all, but just in terms of having sonic variation in terms of the beats on the album, it could make for a better collective piece. Other than that, keep working, man. Like, I like where you're heading. As I mentioned before, I've seen one of your music videos a while ago on YouTube, and I love the fact that you're still in the grind. So yeah, keep at it. Hooks, work on your hooks. Easier said than done, I agree. But that is definitely something I think, if anything, the album needs work on. On top of that, experiment a bit more. I feel like you've stuck with what works, which is not a bad thing because it makes for good songs. But experiment a bit more. Don't be scared. Try different energies and different styles of delivery. Fucking work on that. But yeah, other than that, it's a great album. It's not bad. Hopefully my advice is useful to you. If it is, cool. If not, like, tell me why. Like and share this. Don't forget to subscribe. Hopefully I'll be putting this on YouTube, but we'll see how that goes. So if not this one, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel as soon as it opens. Yeah, cool. Like, share the page, guys. I like how it's been going. Let's keep it going. You remember, the more exposure you guys get for the page, the more exposure you get. You know, help me help you. Let's do this thing. Anyways, thanks for watching, Loop Nation. Thank you.